Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, March the 5th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Easy wins, hard losses. Part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and difference from Walmal's. Walmal. Last week, I talked to the traders about easy wins and hard losses and how it's really our brain that makes things easy or hard, difficult. It's easy to take a couple $100, on a winning trade, but it's not so easy to take a $200 or so loss on the trade. What do you say about that?
Well, you said it all. Well, it's so true, though. I mean, it's that competitive nature within us. Our competitive nature is good. Some people may call it greed, but I don't think it's greed. I think it's just competitive nature. We want to win. And it's sort of like you look at a professional ball team, okay? And let's say you're playing basketball. You could be in the fourth quarter, with 5 minutes left on the clock, and be down 20 points, And if you're talking about a real pro team, guess what? They're not giving up with, being down 20 points. They're still looking. They're still in the game. They're still trying to go and win. The better part of valor may be to go and just say, you know what? I need to go and just pull out my first string, put them on the bench, make sure they don't get hurt. Put in my second string, third string. Let them go out there and get some court time. That may be the better thing to do, but we don't do that. We certainly don't do that in basketball, and we don't do it as traders. But interestingly enough, I'll use another sports analogy. There was an NCAA swimming meet that happened last week, and what happened was that one of the swimmers, the way the brackets work in swimming is crazy. What happens is based on what place you present, you get a certain number of points for your team. Well, and they do a prelim race first, and then you get bracketed either into the A bracket or the B bracket. And if you win in the A bracket, you get like 20 points. But if you win in the B bracket, you only get 11 points. But if you get in the last place in the A bracket, guess what? You get 9 points. So the coach made a decision. You know what? This guy's my best swimmer. We have a real chance of winning over here, but we don't have a chance of winning in this race. He's good enough to go and get into the, to go and win everything. So what did he do? He said, just take it easy. And what happened was he wound up getting into the A bracket because he took it easy. He could have actually gotten way high up on it, but he wound up getting his 11 points. Coming in last place, and that's what caused them to go and win the match. And sometimes, I say that all because I think that sometimes maybe that's the better way of playing, because sometimes, you just got to say, you know what, I'm going to take the loss here. It's just, it's okay to take the loss here. It's better off to take the loss here because now I still got, as I like to say in terms of trading all the time, I still got gunpowder. I haven't violated any of my rules. I haven't gone and, put myself in a position where I can't trade anymore today or trade anymore tomorrow or this month or whatever it may be. And I'm able to stay in the game, and I think sometimes what happens is, especially when you look at, the statistics say that 97, 98% of the people who try to go and trade fail. Well, I'll guarantee you that 99% of that 97%, what happens is they go and they run out of gunpowder. Okay, they just stick in it, and they stick in it, and they stick in it, and instead of just walking away, taking a small little loss, taking the lumps as they may occur, and just saying, okay, that's okay. I'm supposed to lose. That's, if my trading method says I win, 60% of the time, that means 4 out of 10 times I need to lose. And what folks do is they don't have the discipline to take the loss, and so what happens is they hold on to the loss until the loss becomes unsustainable. And I think that's that's what's playing here is that we're sitting at it's so difficult just to take the loss, and it and for me anyway, and that was one of my biggest problems as well. So I'm not talking out of out of turn here. This was me as well, and I think it's true with just about every trader. The reality is you just got to be willing to take the losses when the losses occur, and go back and reflect on the trade. Make sure that you did everything right. Did I actually enter when I was supposed to enter? Did I go if I was to add in? Did I add in where I was supposed to? Did I add in where I wasn't supposed to? Was I not supposed to take the trade? Answer those questions. Those are legitimate questions to go and answer. Don't beat yourself up over it, but answer the questions honestly and truthfully and be true to yourself. And if you really do have a method that wins 60% of the time, well, man, that's a huge edge. And we've said it before on this channel, and that is that, Vegas would kill for 2%. Where here we are, a lot of these methods show, if you do the back testing and whatever else, other forward testing, whatever else you're doing out there, a lot of these methods show that, there's a 10% edge on a lot of methods. Shoot, you can make money on a 10% edge. The problem is you got to go and do it. It's the reason why Vegas makes money is because they've got the discipline to do it. Why do they have the discipline in place to do it? Because they got all the rules in place to make sure they do it. They've got employees who watch employees, who take care of employees, so that way one guy can't go and tank the table, or tank the room. You may wind up having a losing table one night, but you're not going to have a losing room one night. And we have to start thinking as traders that way as well. We need to sit there and recognize that, the game is the game, and we have to play the game, and we have to be disciplined enough to go and, I think you said it last week, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and just be disciplined enough to do it.
No, I think you said that last week.
Oh, did I? Okay. but that's what we need to do, and unfortunately, I think it's funny. Like you look at a lot of these prop firms, the biggest thing that they're really looking for, they want you to win X number of dollars and this and that and everything else. But the biggest thing that they're really looking for, are you a disciplined trader? That's what they're really looking for. So if you want to succeed in those challenges or whatever, you need to be a disciplined trader who follows the rules, and follows them properly and follows them all the time. That's what they're really looking for, because they know overall in the long run, those are the guys who, are not going to be, a one shot in the pan where they come in, 1 month, they go and make, let's say they're playing big and they make 10 grand. Okay. That's great. But the thing is, what are you going to do next month? The month after that, and the month after that. If you're not disciplined, you're going to win 10 grand this month, and you're going to lose 20 grand next month.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's the whole thing, Yeah, it's easy to hold on to to go and take your money and put it in your pocket, when you're winning. But you're right, it's so hard to go. It's hard to walk away from money. No, because the thing is this. When you're taking a loss and you haven't exited the trade, it's just a paper loss. And so it hasn't really affected us yet, but it has. And that we have to recognize that a paper loss is extremely important. And we have to go and recognize that a paper loss, if we don't get out, it's an account loss. Because eventually your account gets shut.
Yeah, that's for true. That's definitely true.
So that's my take on it. I mean, I don't know if I added anything to what you said last week or not, but that's my take on the whole idea of take your wins, but also take your losses too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so tell the traders how you say reprogrammed your brain to actually take those losses. Because that's, I think, what they're looking for is, if they're struggling with that, it's something internal. It's not external.
You're exactly right. It is an internal thing. It's not an external thing. And I hate to say this, they tell you this in psychology when you're learning how to go and, counsel people. You never tell people what you did. You always point people to what they're doing. Okay, and so I can tell you what I did, but I don't know how helpful that is, because the reality is what's helpful for me may not be helpful. In fact, it may even be detrimental to you. But I'll tell you anyway what I did. You can, but just take that as a forewarning first. But the first thing I did was I did a lot of introspection. What I mean by that is I started looking at myself, trying to figure out what was it that was causing me to want to hold on to those losses. Was it because of my competitive nature? And that's what it was for me. And then I had to start saying, okay, I got to look at the game as just that. It's not, I got to look at it more like the World Series, okay? I can't look at it like the Super Bowl. I got to look at it like the World Series. And what I mean by that is that I got to win 4 games here. I can't just win 1 game. And so what that meant was I couldn't go and lay it all on the line for one particular game, because if I did, I may be too beat up that I can't come out for the second game. I got nobody to come out with. So, for instance, let's say I'm in game 1 and I'm losing game 1 in the World Series, and my pitcher is just not doing well. Okay, I'll pull him out, put a reliever in, and he's not doing well. I can pull him out, put another one in. Okay, if I'm up to the 3rd pitcher, I'm not putting in a 4th one, no matter what. And the reason why is because if I do that, I don't have anybody to pitch in the second game, and I've got more games to go and play. And I got to look at it from the perspective that I've got more games to play. And I had to go and make that adjustment, and it's not an all or nothing thing every day. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I'm not going to go and play the FOREX game and go from, living on the edge to having my Lambo, and believe me, I don't have a Lambo, but living on the edge to having a Lambo, all in one game, all in one day, all in 1 week, all in 1 year. That's not going to happen. I got to look at it. This is a career. This is something that takes time, and I got to go and stick in it, and I've got to be able to stay stuck in it. And I had to go and make that adjustment with all of my thinking. What did that mean? It meant that I had to go and take my lot sizes, and I had to substantially reduce them. I had to go and reduce the number of trades that I was willing to be in at one time. I had to go and reduce the number of instruments I was willing to go and look at on a particular day. I went from looking at probably 6, 7 different pairs down to looking at 1 pair, and I didn't do that overnight. No, it was sort of like I had to cull it down over time. And I had to go and what that basically, if you want to hear what I'm saying, what I had to do for me is I had to simplify things. And the simpler you make it, for me anyway, the better off I was. And that may work for you, it may not work for you. I don't know. That's, like I said in the beginning of this, is that, what works for me may not work for you. You have to, the one thing that will work for you is you need to sit yourself down in the chair and really have a good, long conversation with yourself about what you're good at, what you're not good at, and then come up with things that will allow you to go and mitigate against the things that you don't do well. There's in any type of psychology, they always say that, when you're trying to go into behavior modification, the reality is that you don't want to go and harp as much on things that you do well. What you want to do is actually reduce the things that you don't do well. The things that are harmful to you, you want to go and eliminate those things. You want to go and actually take those things and, push those things aside and not be involved in those things. The other things, the things that you do well, you're just going to naturally do because people enjoy doing things well.
And you know what, traders? The fastest 15 minutes in trading just about over. So, I hope you were able to pick up something from Walmal's take on it. And let us know if anything that either I said or he said in these videos, part 1 or part 2, ring true for you. Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.